I went out and explored. Explored the world. I dropped everything, left the people behind I knew, and just went out. Those ponies back at the village, they were an odd bunch. I find myself in a bar drinking my sorrows away a little bit. Sure, I could be finding myself doing better things with my time, but judging from the predicament I'm in, that's no longer an option. Being here is different, I'll give it that. It has its series of ups and has its series of downs. I'm in a pub. I look around me for a second. The environment I'm in is rather welcoming, to say the least. In the far right corner, there's a piano, and the pony's playing it. In the far left corner of the bar, there's 3 griffins. I later found out. They sat there talking, laughing, sharing stories. Apparently they were, well, military type. So I know. Either that or they're mercs. I don't know about you, but these mercs, also known as mercenaries if you didn't know, mercs, nothing but trouble, I'll tell you. And this is coming from a mobster. Sure, you can hire a mobster, then you can hire a merc. Mercs and mobsters don't get along. You see, mercs, they have morals, kind of. Most of them anyways. They come from a military background, they have loyalty, respect. Mobsters, we're in it for ourselves. First sign of trouble, we book. Not me. My name's Lucky Dennis. Lucky ain't no bitch, I'll tell you that. I remember the last guy who thought he was all that. Last guy who thought he was all that squared up to me. He's missing 3 teeth. I don't remember the rest. May have had a concussion. Something broke in his face somewhere, maybe his jaw. Other than that, I can't remember much. There's a lot of things knuckle dusters can do. Back to what I was saying. Behind me, in the bottom left, or to my left, near the entrance, there seems to be a few ponies. They seem to be drinking. Not bothering anybody. To the right of the bar I'm standing at, or sitting at, preferably, there's a griffin, a dog, and a pony. To my left, there's just a few ponies. Behind me, if you were to look around, you'll notice that there's even a few poker tables, playing blackjack or something like that. I lift the glass to my mouth, sipping. I was the only one with a cigarette. Apparently, this world has its perks as well. You see, apparently there's magic and crap. Believe it? Magic. I know. It had various effects. I won't tell you all of them. I'm a man with secrets. And boy, I have quite a few. Anyway, the magic affects my pack. My cotton, full of cigs. Apparently it's endless, limitless. So I think, anyway. Who knows, maybe the effects are temporary. All I know is, I got quite a few cigs. Second I pull one out, a new one appears. So, I guess this place has its perks after all. I don't have to go to a corner store and buy some cigs. Plus, this place doesn't even sell cigs. If you don't know what cigs are, it's short for cigarettes. I pull out my lighter, put my thumb right down on the little circular thing, apply force, and lights fire. The sound it makes with the small bit of fire erupting gets the attention of a few people. Well, a few of these ponies and birds and dogs. I put the cigarette in my mouth, light it, shut the lighter, put it back in, and breathe. Some people were looking at the lighter when I had it in my hand. The lighter, of course, had a 4-leaf clover on it. By the way, my lighter never runs out for some reason. Magic, I guess. I've come to accept that as the term for everything. Hey, how come you didn't die? Magic. Or I'd go up and say, hey Tony, what you do with that broad? Oh, we made magic. You know, sort of that. The piano's playing. It's a pretty nice tune, I'll tell you. It's familiar, but other than that, I can't really name it. Me sitting here in a suit with a fedora, and me being the only human apparently, makes things a little awkward. I get a few stares and sideward glances, sure, every now and then. But other than that, people are alright. I'm not as big a fan of poker as you'd think. The name being Lucky. However, no bothers. I was in Ponyville. That's the name of the place anyway. I stopped along my travels. I got a few glances from some broads. Apparently, I had heard from some passing people the place I was heading had this bunch, the elements of harmony, or whatever the fuck that means. I learned some things about the celestial body, the lunar body, and all kinds of nonsense, how polar opposites control the sun and moon, or some nonsense like that. To me, it just sounds like somebody's popping shots, if you know what I mean. Either that or they're just popping pills. They've had one too many shots of Apple Jacks. Yes, that's the name of the beer. I don't mind it. It's a little stronger than whiskey, but hey, whatever downs the bad memories. I sit there with my head, just staring down at my drink. I hear the sound of someone coming into the bar. I give it a little glance. I see it's a white mare, purple mane and tail, with diamonds on her ass. I'd say it's a tattoo, but apparently it's not. It's a cutie mark. I prefer tattoo, but hey, potato, who gives a shit? And in comes a purple thing, or purple pony. She has a bunch of stars on her ass. Whatevs. Apparently the white pony with the diamonds on her flank. She seems kind of familiar. She's kind of got that vibe, you know, of my era. The era that everyone knows and comes to love. Prohibition. I just smile with a cig in my mouth and pull it out, lift the glass, drink a little bit, put the glass back down, cigarette in mouth, smoke. I could see the purple one staring at me in awe. Obviously she was one of those dames. These broads always made me feel uncomfortable. They had question after question. They always wanted to ask you everything. Sure, I didn't mind too much, but hey, can a guy get some privacy? I'll tell you. Reminds me of that night I took home a girl named Jenny. No, I'm not going to tell you what happened. Well, I mean, I'll save it for later. But anyway, a few stallions, seemed to move away, sitting a few seats away from us. She went up, propped herself up on the seat next to me, while her friend also propped the seat on the other side next to me. The purple one seemed hesitant. However, the white one was more than willing to stop talking. She looked at me and said, "I must say, you're the first of your kind here, and you already have a sensible taste in fashion." I give her a small glance and say, "Well, if you knew me long enough, I wear the suit for unethical reasons. But there ain't nothing too wrong with just dressing for show. I follow the old saying, dress to impress. Of the sorts, anyways. What's your name, miss?" She looks at me and says, "My name's Rarity. And this is Twilight. We came in, well, she brought me in, and she wanted to ask you some questions." I give my famous grin and say, "It's nice to meet you, Dollface. Name's Lucky. Lucky Dennis." I grab her hoof, I guess, leaning up to my face and give it a slight kiss. She blushes. I lower it, give her a nod, and turn to my right and say, "So, your name's Twilight, ain't it?" She nods. She's so confused about me being so forward. She was very confused about Lucky being forward. She'd never met any individual that was so forward like him. Surely this would be different and exciting. "So, Lucky, yeah, Toots? What's up?" "I was wanting to ask you some questions, if that's okay with you." "Sure, whatever." Apparently her princess or whatever had taken an interest to me when she heard about me and the things I'd done. But whatevs. Ain't none of my business. I mean, getting that kid out of the gang and getting beaten to death or whatevs. I forget. All I know is I died. Now I turned up here in magical Ponyland or whatever. And I can't help but think if I'm crazy. If I don't go crazy, these damn broads will. They'll make me. I leaned my head down and said, "Well, fire away. Ask any question you want. But if I don't want to answer it, I'm not going to answer it." She nodded. "Okay, so, question 1. Where are you from?" Lucky inhales, pulls out the cigarette, exhales, and says, "I'm from Boston, Toots." Next question. "I mean, where are you from?" He rolls his eyes. "Well, Toots, I'm an angel sent from heaven." "I'm guessing you're wondering the more specific terms. Planet Earth, US of A, Boston." Next question. Okay. So tell me, why are you dressed like that? Lucky couldn't help but wince at that question. But he shrugged. He would be blunt. Or straightforward, whichever. Well, Dollface, let me tell you. The reason I'm dressed like this is, well, everyone else is dressed like this back where I'm from. We dress formally or whatevs. Dress to impress. Kinds of stuff like that. Me, it's 'cause of my job. Because I have to look the way I am. She looks at me, raising an eyebrow. And what's your job? He gives her a look and says, I'm a gangster. Or, not really a gangster, I'm a mobster. She raises an eyebrow and says, I'm sorry, what? A gangster. Well, gangster is just another term for... Mobster is just another term for gangster. I'll put it in a perspective where you understand it. A gangster is a criminal who is a member of a gang. Some gangs are considered to be part of organized crime. Gangsters are also called mobsters. Makes sense? Some of the more famous gangsters, or one of the most well-known, is Al Capone. You don't mess with him, I'll tell you. There are lots and lots of gangsters. Lots of them out there. Al Capone was the big one. Maybe even Babyface Nelson. Or Bugs Moran. All kinds of stuff. There's thousands and thousands of things you might know about gangsters. But we're an organized crime of such. We do many things. Mobsters go out and, well, we kill people every now and then. We rob stores, we do all kinds of stuff. We do jobs, we hustle, we sling dope on the sides of streets, do drive-bys, such as such. I never was a fan of much, mainly because I didn't do too much killing, but I know how to kill. I was more of a hustler, a brawler, big shot. I was the protection, muscle. Someone mess with you, I mess with them, that kind of thing. Every now and then there'd be some wise guy that would crack a few hints or jokes or whatevs, and I'd put him in line. Knock the teeth out, maybe even bust a kneecap, I don't know. See, look, the point, Twilight, I ain't no good person, and I sure as hell ain't no angel. I may be dressed and look nice and all, hell, I may even be popping my collar and shining my shoes. But I ain't no damn angel, I'll tell you that much now, Toots. Every day I walk outside I gotta carry a heater, tuck it in my pants. Gotta watch out for the boys in blue. There's nothing a few bribes can't handle, sure. I can bribe a cop and beat some man to a pulp. But other than that, gotta worry about the other gangs. Because if you ain't careful, you'll find yourself strapped to a brick and thrown into the water to sleep with the fishes. And I ain't gonna sleep with no fishes. You gotta watch out for switches and all kinds of other stuff. Drive-bys. The life of a mobster ain't easy, but it's pretty fun. Because, let me tell you, being a mobster, It don't leave much to the imagination. You always end up finding fun. So Twilight, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to hear any of that. But just understand, it shouldn't have been me who came here. It should have been someone else. I don't know, like a doctor or some crap. Maybe a scientist. Help revolutionize here. I mean, I know some things, but I don't know a whole lot of things. I'm wise, I'm pretty smart, but other than that, well, besides my charms and good looks, I don't got much else going for me. So other than that, I'm stuck. You keeping up with me, broad? I seem to have lost you, Toots. Twilight was there, along with Rarity, along with the people in the bar, the people playing poker, the Griffins, and the piano guy were all had stopped and listened. Many of them agape. Eventually they went back and he said, look, Toots, let me boil it down to this. You don't want to get mixed with me, because I ain't no goody two-shoes, I'll tell you. Whilst he was talking, at the corner of his left eye, he noticed there were a few ponies that walked in. He looked them over. They seemed like the rough type. First pony that came in had a scar running that was on his eye, and also had 5 o'clock shadow with a flat cap. Pony to the right of him looked unshaved, and the pony to the left also didn't look bad at all. He recognized these were criminals, these 3, and he knew their type all too well. If you're wondering what their type is, well, Lucky will tell you right now. Great. Mr. Lucky, what's wrong? Well, you see those 3 ponies that just walked in? They're part of a gang, I can tell. They ain't no criminals, though. I mean, they are, but not much. They're thieves. You can tell just by looking at them. The most illegal thing they've probably ever done is smuggle. I mean, like, maybe smuggle animals, but that's about it. The guy in front's a smuggler. He brings animals across and from different borders and all kinds of stuff like that. The guy to his right, he's a brawler. He's high protection. And the boy to his left, well, you can already tell. He's a thief. And he's also high protection. Apparently I learned that earth ponies have more strength than unicorns and Pegasus. The guy with the scars are Pegasus, 2 behind them are earth ponies. They're the muscle. They're all broad and no muscle. They're all muscle, no brains. They seem to be flirting with Rarity. I can tell she's getting uncomfortable. One of them went up and smacked her on the flank. I can tell today's gonna be one hell of a day. I put the cigarette in my mouth, smoke, and walk over. Twilight's sitting there, not wanting to. She knows something's about to happen. What she doesn't know is that my hands are in my pockets. She can see that, but she doesn't know my right hand. My fingers are going into my knuckle duster. Things about to get ugly. And oh boy, I can already feel my smile.